I was one of the many Canadians that used to think that tax-free savings account is completely tax-free. But there is one tax. There's one tax that nobody talks about. A tax that Canadian government cannot protect you from. And that tax is quietly taking money from your investment every single year. And most Canadians have absolutely no idea that it is happening. So let me show you exactly what it is. Before we get into it, if you find this helpful, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps me a lot, and I'm just a regular Canadian sharing honest finance content every single week. Now let's get into it. My name is Sharon Lali, I'm an accountant and I've been investing from 2020. And there are a lot of things that I wish somebody would have told me when I was newbie or when I was new to investing. I was so unaware of some of the stuff. Now back to the topic. The problem is when you invest into the US stocks or US ETF inside your tax-free savings account, the US government charges 15% withholding tax on any dividend those investment pay out. So that withholding tax is 15%. So 15% before the money reaches your account. So let me give you an example that it makes more sense. Let's say you own VFB. So VFB tracks S&P 500, contains all the stocks like Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Max 7, make 35% of S&P 500 and then all the other 500 companies. So VFB pays a dividend yield of approximately 1.3% per year. So same, it tracks S&P 500, so it pays 1.3%. It's not a huge dividend, but 1.3 is still compound if we look at the long term. So if we see on 100,000, let's say you invested into VFP, so 1.3% is $1,300 in dividend annually. So now we can divide it quarterly and see how much we get in 3 months. So the important part is that VFP hold 100% of the US stocks. So it tracks S&P 500 and S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in US. So VFP just track S&P 500. So all $1,300 dividend is the US source. The US government withhold, as we know, 15% of that automatically. So if we see the 15% of the dividend paid, that's $195 per year. That's quietly disappearing from your account every single year without you doing anything. And I didn't know this until a few years back. And then I was like, I don't know, when you invest into VO, you will know that 15% is going away. But when you invest through VFV, the 15% won't go away, it just get deducted. Now $195 might not sound a lot, but remember, compound interest works both ways. So 195 over 25 years at 8% is $14,000 is just lost in the wealth. So just from one tax most Canadians don't even know exist. Now here's what makes this so frustrating. The tax-free savings account protects from Canadian tax. So any Canadian stocks like Enbridge or XTIV, ETF, no capital gains, no dividend tax, no tax when you withdraw. But it cannot protect you from the US withholding tax. Canada cannot do anything about it, and your bank cannot do anything about it either. And your broker like Wealthsimple cannot do anything about it either. It happens automatically before your money ever reaches you. So the question is, should you stop investing in VFV inside your tax-free savings account? So the answer is absolutely not. So VFV is still one of the best investment in Canada that someone can make. The S&P 500 has returned approximately 10% annually over the long term, and a small withholding tax on dividend does not change that. Think about it that way. Even after losing $195 a year to withholding tax, $500 a month into VFV inside your tax-free savings account at 8% over the period of 25 is almost $500,000, completely tax-free. And that number now is life-changing. A small dividend tax does not take that away from you. The real lesson is that tax-free savings account is still one of the greatest wealth-building tools that Canadians have. The withholding tax is just, I'll say, a small imperfection that we have, and absolutely not a reason to avoid investing. But this video was just to give you more knowledge, not to just that you stop paying or stop buying VFV. But knowing about makes you smarter investor than 99% of the Canadians, because now you understand exactly what is happening with your money. And that knowledge is worth more than any tax you will pay. And if this video helped you, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It really helps me a lot. I'm just a regular guy trying to help Canadians build wealth from scratch. Every single subscriber means a world to me. And comment below, did you know about this ETF before watching this video? And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.